It's Terry with TNT Custom. Got a little project today. We're gonna go ahead and get the Escalade busted down, get the seats out of it, doors off of it, and then the rest of it is gonna start getting cut up. So stay tuned. We're gonna first use an ASV to pull it forward so we can get a little more space, because if y'all can see in the back of me where it's at, it's just kind of stuck down here, with no tires, no nothing on it. So we're gonna get a couple pieces out of it and then just start breaking it down, get the dump trailer pulled over here, and start getting it stripped down. Main thing we worried about on this one, or focused on getting out of it, is the motor and transmission. It was bought wrecked, and they bought it for the sole purpose of the motor and the transmission. So me and Red's gonna go ahead and get the. I think so. That looked like something you might have did. That ain't you?
Goddamn drawers, dog.
I didn't know they.
That's from the big deal.
I didn't know it looked like your drawers.
You talking about that? That's what I did. That's fucked up, dog.
I don't know. It looked like a little blowout or something.
That ain't me.
But yeah, we're gonna get ready.
You got out of them drawers quick.
To get this thing cut up, and then I might have to make a run to go get a Sawzall, because the one we got is. Yeah. So Red, we want to get the them 4 seats out too. The 4 seats. Take those 4 seats out, and then everything else is kind of, I don't care for it.
The doors? What we doing with the doors?
Just put them off. Yeah, just put them off to the side for a hot second.
Back door open.
You ain't gonna be able to.
Because I need electric.
Yep. So that, and then it's fucked up anyways.
Chopping it up.
You got the.
You
didn't pick them drawers up, did you?
Yeah, I went got the motherfucking bloody ass shit. I
didn't mean for you to really pick them up.
I didn't want to keep looking at your motherfucker. That's nasty. Yeah, I keep looking at that. I
don't know if that's bloody drawers, man.
Man, that nigga boo-boo on himself.
Oh. Red out here chopping it up, man.
Chop.
Where I go?
Why you didn't have this when I first came?
Cause that thing like $400. I had to make some money. Red slowly breaking this down. The truck don't mean nothing to us, so get that stuff knocked out. You're gonna start slowly peeling away at it and get us down to the motor and frame, pull the motor, trans, and the computer and stuff out. Get the gas pedal, and we'll just keep breaking this down and start getting it loaded in the dump trailer, collect the weight, a little bit of change off of it, and then we'll be out of here. We got another one to do, got a BMW to do down behind there, and then I got a 79 Caprice that we got to do back out that way also. So here's the inside of there, and I'm gonna start making this trans tunnel. I'm gonna use this wire here, that one there. You see how I kind of got it shaped. Got to start my shape around this back portion, because if any of you guys really know, this area here is very flat throughout here, and the transmission is in the way real bad, because this truck didn't really have a trans tunnel before, and then I did kind of a body drop on it also, so it's making it where it's real tight. So we'll start putting loops around this way here to start closing that up, and then from like maybe here and wrapping all the way around there up through there until that will allow me to give me that'll allow some way to start shaping my sheet metal and know for sure that I have the clearances that I want. So when I'm putting these loops in, I can get the height that I want from the heat shield on the transmission cover. Then I can come up about an inch or so just to have enough gap for wiggle room and movement. And then from there, I'll just, around that ledge here, I'll just start tacking those in right at that line, and then get the sheet metal over there, and then I have a tab to pop out on the bottom side and get that, and knock that stuff up and weld it together. So I'm gonna get started on this, and then I'll get back at y'all, and then I'll let you guys see what else Red has going on. Hopefully he gets that top off today, and whatever interior pieces that we may need out of it. But that's where I'm at. Hey, so we inside of this cab, and I think I got the general shape and everything of how I want the trans tunnel to come out. I forgot to record anything on the wiring or the grid, but I'll show you guys after I take the tape off, and I'm gonna show you that real quick. Like all of my templates or stuff like that I'm making of that's kind of large, I like to use tape as templates. It's just, for me, it's easier. It instead of all the measuring and everything like that, when you kind of like a one-man show with, you know, you got some help, but whatever. But I tend to like to use tape because it just allows me to lay out stuff more accurately, and then I can see where my edges are. Once I use the tape and press down along the edges, I can find out where that is, and then I'll just untape it and lay this whole piece out on a piece of sheet metal. And then from there, I can start working the metal to be able to get it to fit in place as close to the grid or the tape pattern that I've made. So I'm gonna turn the camera around so you guys can see what the trans tunnel will look like. It's big, but I think it will fit and work based off of how big the transmission is. It's a huge transmission. It's a 10-speed, and it does not fit in this car at all. So, you know, we're gonna have to do custom carpet and all that other stuff. But here's a look at it. Hop out of the cab real quick. Sorry, y'all. So you can see. So that's what the trans tunnel is gonna look like. There's still a lot of extra metal underneath that's gonna have to be trimmed out. Excuse me, y'all. But for the most part, you can kind of tell how I got the cage, how it's caged in here. What I'll do is I'll lift the cab up real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's see. Hold on one. Okay, so I'm gonna lift this up, and then I'll show you how that looks underneath. Something caught up under here and there. So that's the cage that I made first, and I just use this. I guess this is about an 1/8 inch rod, and then I just use that rod to shape in whatever I wanted to around the transmission tunnel. And then now that I got everything taped up, I can just pop that tape off, and then I should be able to start getting the sheet metal set for that. And then along this line here, I have a lot of overhang, so that's gonna get removed back. I'm gonna cut roughly along that line and then overlap on the top inside. I'm gonna overlap over here and then I'll be overlapping on this portion, but this stuff in here, that'll all be taken out. I left that there just so I can have the ability to build my grid first without going over the edge. So, and then that'll tie right back into the firewall. We'll get all that stuff smooth, shaped out, and then we'll start filling in these holes here for the vintage air. And then I'll try to work something where we fill in this hole, and then here we'll radius this out and around to try to connect back to there. Very similar to how it is factory on that side. So it gives a OEM kind of look, but at the same time, you know, it's got a little modification to it, and then we'll just keep pushing from there. The supercharger, it fits really good up underneath here. The only thing that I had issues with was the transmission, and that's because this transmission is just so much bigger than the other one. And I also dropped the body down much lower than what it would have been from the factory setting, so we can get the stance that we're closer to the stance that we want out of the suspension without changing too much of the springs and everything. So we dropped all of that stuff down, and it causes some clearance issues. Another thing that we're going to have to do after we get this trans tunnel in is the drive shaft that's in here is really big. Here it is. So tomorrow I'll probably, or you know, whenever, I'll get this drive shaft set in there, and then I'll have to check back here in this area here to make sure I'm fine with with my clearances, because I may have to do a little notch in here to make sure the drive shaft doesn't hit or scrape or anything like that. And then we'll come in and fill in the old gas line hoses and start getting the back side of this frame cleaned up so we can get undercoating and paint on it, and a few more little welds and stuff on there. So that's where we're at on this project right now. The wiring harness, we went ahead with a standalone wiring harness, and I'm gonna put the computer and everything behind the glove box. So all of these wires here from this grommet, I'll probably end up taking all of these wires back off and running it through the cab first and fishing these wires out after I get the firewall smoothed out. I'll leave a little hole opening for that, big enough for that grommet there to fit in there snugly, and then run these wires out to the through the firewall, reconnect everything, and then all of this stuff will stay inside of the cab, so we won't have any computers or anything up underneath the dash. And for the most part, this is going to be the bulk of the wires that you'll see. All the wires for the headlights and everything else, we're going to try to get them tucked back up through here on the underside of the fender, and then from here we'll either shoot through this area here, especially with the AC lines and in the heater core, try to get all of that to plumb through this area here, and then whatever we have to do here. We have a lot of fixing to do here. That's where the fuse panel plug and all the wires and stuff for the cab is at, and somebody hacked that up, so we'll plate that over and then come up with a new hole to get the other stuff in there. And we got our wire and harness and everything going. So I'll update you guys tomorrow on what we got going on this one.